As a confidant and coach to business leaders, I know a lot of people who are rich and miserable, and those on the opposite side of the spectrum. So let's pull it all together, shall we? We'll explore the intersection between wealth and joy. We'll look at the psychology, spirituality, and practicality of money, plus some of the things that make up a truly lucrative lifestyle. I'm your host, Mindy Kinnis, and this is the Lucra Life. Hey, it's so good to speak with you once again. Truly, thank you for listening. What you are about to hear is something that was such a powerful experience this past weekend. TLC, or the Lucra Collective, which is my membership group, had our biannual retreat. And oh my gosh, was it amazing. So I've pulled together some of the highlights from our experience, just a few things that I wanted to share with my larger audience. And here's what I want to point out specifically, and you will hear this in the conversation between some of the members with each other. One of the things I love so much about this group and about the people in it is how supportive they are of each other, how encouraging they are of each other, how they lift each other up and hold each other accountable. It is so gorgeous to watch people just coming together. Now, these are entrepreneurs in a variety of different fields. Many of them are coaches, and they're all in different stages of that entrepreneurial game. But one of the things that I talk about a lot in describing this group is that there is no competition. It's pure creativity, because all of us recognize that we are ourselves responsible for our level of success. We are responsible for the mindset that can create that level of success that we are wanting. And when you have a bunch of self-responsible people who are willing and able to come to the table with their expertise and their experience, gorgeous things can happen. So enjoy a few of the highlights from the Lucra Collective. For all of you, this is your life. Your life is your choice. You can make of it whatever you want. The whole concept of heart path is like using all the bits along the way and being able to then bring it to culmination in the right fit thing, because maybe that's not the right fit thing for you right now. The struggle that a lot of people have, and I bet some of you will recognize yourself when I say this, is when you do want to make a shift like that, but then there's potential money coming in from the old stuff. It's like, well, I still need to do that. Like, I need to pay the bills. And yes, that is true. And again, you have the choice though. And I think a lot of people go through the whole of their lives and they will always choose the one, well, I have to do that. And Doug, you even said, that's why I quoted you in the comments. You said, I had to do one this morning. I'm like, you had to? Says who? You. Like, you're the one calling the shots on this. This is your life, your experience, your career that you are creating. To that point about adulting, like, we have to do the things that must be done, right? But we also have to, as people who are focused on growth, focused on building the dream into reality, we have to also create the space and the time for time, energy, attention, whatever, to do the things that we actually want to do. To me, that's an easy question and answer. Does this bring me joy? Yes. Yeah. And is he able to pay me more, like my new higher rate? Yes. Okay, check. Awesome. I would rather you be in the more boutique level, in the more premium level, than to just want to spray out everything to the masses and be like the Walmart of the coaching world and just, hey, like, we have the cheapest prices, so come and work with me. Like that, I mean, that's fine. It's one way to do a business. Obviously, Walmart is a very, very, very successful company. But is that what you want? I am going to assume and make a very educated guess that because of the fact that you are in this group, it's not what you want. Because that's not what I teach. That's not what I stand for. That's not what I do myself. So when you are able to recognize in yourself, and these are choices you all will have to make, getting past that indecision, picking something, choosing something. Who am I serving here? What is my brand? What is my price point? And you guys have seen me do this over the years. I'm like, okay, now I'm raising this price. Now I'm raising this price. Now I'm raising this price. Some of you have been around for years in this program. And that to me speaks volumes about what you are wanting in your life, what you are seeking in your life, recognizing this community as like, hey, there are people in here doing what I would like to be doing. let me go be a part of that and learn from the collective experience and be able to then create that in my own life. Having examples of each other along the way is so, so, so awesome. That is fantastic. I am delighted. So what this means now that you have publicly declared this is that if I hear you being like, oh, I'm going to go do this other thing and I'm going to go do this other thing, I'll be like, stop that shit right now and go focus on the men and getting their balls back.
Yes. Permission granted. Not that you need it.
Yeah. As if I wait for permission.
And so it was really nice to be able to express all the things that are super important to me, that are messages I want to get out there. And so that felt really good to be able to be doing that. And
so essentially, let me pause you for just a sec. What you're saying is you essentially created a stage for yourself to present the content that you wanted to be presenting.
Yeah. And I was fully in charge of all of the content because I was able to only choose the speakers that I jive with their stuff and to guide the conversation to present the things that I feel are most important to get out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I want you all to just think about that. Like you have the ability to make something up. Like it was nothing a few weeks ago. It was just an idea and a dream of like, hey, I'd like to do this thing. And then she did it. And then it became a thing. Now it's a thing that people can be like, oh, you know what? I was at that Joy Fam Talks thing. Like that was amazing. And it's a real thing. She created her own stage to get the message out there. I love that.
What I loved about what I heard was you said, I felt was important. You know, that's a key takeaway for me. The things that you wanted to get out there that you feel are important. Wow. Yeah. That's what we're all about, right?
Totally.
I got to remember that.
As soon as you did your Saturday collective meeting on summits, I immediately, the next week, was working on my summit.
Okay, hold on. 5 million stars for that. Like just taking whatever we talked about in this thing and being like, oh, I'm going to go do something now with it. That's awesome. How many of you have found yourself in that position of, oh shit, I haven't like got all the stuff done that needs to get done. And now I have a deadline and accountability and all, like all of us, right? All of us. And I don't know about the rest of you. I know for sure Doug, and I know for sure me, maybe some of the rest of you. It's like, that's actually how we work. Like, it's just actually how we get stuff done. Bobby. So,
and it's important to realize once you accept that, it's so much easier. You know, you take that shame and blame off of yourself and go, oh yeah, this is the way I'm wired. Cool. Yeah.
You know what, Doug, that brings joy to my heart to hear you say that, because what a transformation from probably a couple of years ago, hearing you like talk about just the anxiety and the stress and everything like, and I'm like, yo, just relax. It's all going to come out. It's going to be fine. Those are great numbers, especially for the first one. And especially if you kept saying like, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. But here's the distinction. And I want to just showcase this for all of you because it's potential for all of you. She didn't know what she was doing, but she did it. And there is a vast distinction about those people who are like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. They get stuck in that. I don't know what I'm doing. None of us know what we're doing. We make this up as we go. All of us.
Very inspiring. That's all I want to say.
What I most applaud you for is just taking imperfect action.
Of course, I mean, I never waited for her permission to live my life. I did it anyway. But if your doctor, who is trained to look for the stuff that can go wrong all the time, says the same thing, that was awesome.
You didn't wait for that. Mm-hmm. You were doing your thing. You knew you were healthy. You were living your life. And then yay to the other confirmation. Like, that's awesome. But there was no hesitancy. There was no pause. There was no nothing before you got to the point where you wanted to be, which was perfectly healthy.
Yes.
And Mindy, you know this better than probably anybody here. One day, everything is one way, and the very next day, it can be completely different, like in an instant. And it was for Mindy, literally in an instant, right? So we have one choice, and that's to live. Bettina, I love the way that you expressed that you didn't wait for permission. I just chose to live. That was so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
You guys,
Yes.
I adore this group.
We don't know what we're capable of, is what I'm really trying to say.
We have no idea.
Exactly. We just don't know.
I know what you're all capable of, and it's more than you're currently doing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. 100%.
I would say for any of you guys, lean into that stuff that is close to home. It takes that level of commitment. It takes that level of dedication. Why do we have that level of commitment and dedication? Because it's important to us personally, ourselves. Exactly. So that then we can bring our experience, bring our expertise to all of the rest, and then help them in whatever they're going through.
We often take the burden or try to take the burden from somebody else and make it ours, while in reality it's really theirs. And that giving the burden back to the rightful owner and not shouldering theirs, I think is a very important thing to remember and to also honor.
You all deserve so much more than you could even fathom. So I want to offer you a quote, and I'd like you to write this down, because if there's one thing that you can come back to again and again and again from this conversation today, it will be this. So I'll say it slowly so you can write it down. You do not get what you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first line. You do not get what you deserve. You get what you think you deserve. You get what you think you deserve. Final two lines, nothing more, nothing less. So in its entirety, you do not get what you deserve. You get what you think you deserve. Nothing more, nothing less. And because I always like to give credit where credit is due, the person who said that, his name is Gary Cady. So Gary, Gary, and then Cady is Kadi. Gary Cady. And here's what I want to point out about his statement, is that it actually then doesn't matter. Like if we believe that that is true, what he is saying, and for those of us that have studied things like psychocybernetics and how the unconscious mind works, and NLP for a lot of you, all of these things, you know that that's what runs the show. So in psychocybernetics, it's all about the self-image. What is the self-image that who we think we are? Now, it doesn't actually matter who we are on the outside. It's who we think we are that runs everything, that drives our actions, that really causes everything in our lives. So if he's saying you do not get what you deserve, you get what you think you deserve, then the reality is, if we kind of add some logic and rationale to this statement, is it doesn't matter if you deserve it or not. Like that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you deserve it. Now, we can say like, oh, we think we're pretty good people. Like, yeah, we do. We want to believe that. But it doesn't, honestly, it doesn't matter, because what we get is what we think we deserve. So the only thing that we need to take is some inner construction jobs to reset our mindset on what we think we deserve.
Mindy, for anybody that's thinking about coming to an event like this in the future with you, what they should understand, I think more than anything, particularly if they're sitting on the fence and they're going, I just don't know, I got so many things going on already. My life is busy. It's full. There's this, there's that. You'll never get anything more for your life than when you invest in yourself for your life. It might be simply an investment of time. It might be a small fee. Whatever it is, it's going to reap a benefit tenfold of whatever it was. And what happens in the community environment, like what we all experience today, and I put in the chat, so grateful for this whole community today, for this interaction and opportunity for growth. You can't get this anywhere else. You won't find this anywhere else. But if you're willing to invest in yourself just a tiny little bit, then everything in your life can change.
Trusting that path, and you'll hear me talk about this at Heart Path so much. Every single one of those experiences in your life has been for a purpose, on purpose, so that then you can go out and help other people based on the experiences that you have gone through and grown through. And the way to begin, maybe just a little bit to transition to that, is offer to your list, like, hey, I'm going to do a live stream about this topic, and just invite them. All you're doing ever is inviting somebody into your world. Every time I make an offer about anything, whether it's trading something, heart path, something, whatever, I am just inviting them to come and play. Really, it just comes down to trusting the process and trusting that you are on the right path, and that especially the worst parts of your experience, of your life, have ultimately been for your growth, for your development, for your maybe future experience that you need to pull from that, whatever it is. Like, we don't know all the answers, and that's okay. So yes, Lewis, to that point, it is very, very important to recognize where you're at in your own journey and make sure that first you are doing no harm to yourself, no harm to your audience. You all deserve much more than you could ever imagine. And it is my honor and delight to, even in a tiny way, assist you along that path. So thank you for being here. I love you guys. This group is absolutely amazing, and many, many blessings. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Gratitude to all of you.
Absolutely. Gratitude.
I love you guys.
Ready to make your dream your reality? Let's build your business so you can do what you are here to do. I invite you to join my inner circle, the Lucra Collective, a community of like-minded entrepreneurs who got over the limiting belief that they needed to go it alone. Visit lucra.com to join today. That's lucra.com. Lucra, where wealth equals well-being.